I'm Anna Murray, author of The Complete Software Project Manager. In this video, we're going to talk about the two big mistakes people make when it comes to staffing a software project. It's common for business people simply to not know the roles they need to have on a software team. It would be like trying to assemble a soccer team without knowing you needed a forward. The solution to this problem is straightforward. Know the roles. Let's do a real quick review of each. The board or CEO turns to a manager and says, "This software initiative needs to be completed. It's your baby. Get her done." That person is the project sponsor, the business person with ultimate responsibility for the project. She's often the COO, CIO, or even the head of marketing. Who will be the customer for the project? If it's an e-commerce website selling beauty products, the customer is consumers of lipstick and nail polish. But even if you're rolling out a new accounting system, you have customers. In that case, they're members of the accounting department. The key business stakeholder represents the customers, such as the CFO in the accounting system example, or the head of product sales for the beauty product site. A project manager manages tasks, uses tracking software, and monitors timelines and budgets. If there are external teams and vendors on the project, each one should have their own PM. If your project is big enough, with many PMs, you may also have a program manager. This is a kind of Uber project manager. The business analyst talks to all the stakeholders and collects all features and functions for the software. He or she writes them down in a way that can be understood by the technical folks as well as the non-techies. UX stands for user experience. Software is dynamic with different clicks and interactions leading to different results. The UX person maps out all those interactions by creating sitemaps and wireframes of screens. Pretty much everyone knows what a designer does. The key here is not to confuse design and UX. A designer may not be expert in mapping out user interactions in software. Usually, software programs have both a front end and a back end. The front-end programmer puts together the actual screens the user will see. The back-end programmer designs the database that will store things like products, prices, and user profiles. All software runs on machines. How many? What size? In the cloud or not? These are the questions the architect on a bigger project or the systems administrator will address. I'll admit, looking at all these roles can be intimidating. Also, some of the titles may be unfamiliar. Remember, it's not so important what you call it or even who does it. What's important is that all these jobs need to get done. Which brings us to our second common mistake. Of course, team members can wear many hats. Often, this is the only way to get all the bases covered. But businesses run into trouble when they try to blend roles inappropriately. The key here is to separate your big picture thinkers from your black and white thinkers. The rule is you don't want to combine roles usually filled with black and white thinkers with roles usually filled by the big picture folks. For instance, programmers are black and white thinkers. They tend to be literal-minded, preferring specific instructions with a minimum of vagueness. Contrast this with a business analyst, someone who's comfortable interviewing stakeholders about general ideas and vision, talking about the 30,000-foot view, and then translating that into requirements. You can see it can be a very bad idea to ask a programmer to do business analysis. Here are the roles on a software team that are generally associated with black and white thinkers. These are the ones generally associated with big picture thinkers. Depending on your team, you can combine roles. Just remember which jobs are best for black and white thinkers and which require more big picture folks.